What are the most pervasive misconceptions about Africa in the United States or in Europe and other parts of the world?
I think for me, the greatest misconception is that Africa is a continent that needs to be saved, and that we need to, when we're in supporting Africa, we are doing it as a favor to Africa, and that we are helping to save children or youth in Africa. See, I really believe that we're missing a huge opportunity by looking at it that way, because many of the world's greatest innovations, things that we take for granted today, have actually come out of Africa. For example, you can get a heart transplant today because a South African doctor did the first heart transplant in the world in the 60s, Dr. Chris Barnard. Elon Musk, who's building all these things like Tesla and SpaceX, is a South African. The scientist who built the Mars rover robot that went to Mars is a Ghanaian scientist who works at NASA. Danai Gurira, Mac grad, who
friend of yours,
friend of mine, yes, and the list goes on. There are many, many Africans. Kofi Annan, exactly. Nelson Mandela, Grassman, global leaders who have actually shaped the future of the world, and they've emerged from Africa despite the education system that's there, and despite the investments that have been made in Africa. So when you look at the fact that by the end of this century, 40% of the world's population will be African, and as I mentioned, we have the youngest population in the world, that means we also have the most energy in the world. And there are another hundreds of millions of talented problem solvers who will solve the world's problems, not just Africa's problems, if we can invest in them and give them opportunities to actually bring their full talent to bear. So what I think the greatest misconception is about Africa is that going and investing in Africa is helping Africa. I see it as really as one of the greatest opportunities to help the world.